Going on, everybody? I'm gonna try to keep this wind picking up. Video steady. I kind of got rusty on my steadiness of my hand, but hope everybody's doing well. This video gonna mainly something I thought of be about safety of the homesteading or property safety, remote property safety. You want to make it safe. First thing, if it's a dense wooded environment, depending on your oh, damn it, oh, acorns. Birds drop acorns. I gotta cut these trees right in my back. It hurt too. Ouch. You want to make sure the property is safe. There are many things that can make it unsafe. Due to the remoteness, makes it safe because of the remoteness. You have a lot less two-legged critters, people. I mean, but every now and then you get a straggler. I must admit, during the winter, me and my sons were down here. I don't know what we were doing, some gravel land, and all of a sudden my son looks up and there's an individual coming out of the woods. Now, it's a train track not too far from here. Train speeds through here, I can hear it. It's down the valley. And, but that train, I looked on satellite imagery, it runs quite a bit. And, that train runs through a few small towns. So you can have stragglers just wandering the railroad tracks that can just drift into your space. Access via railroad. It's a bit of it's good and bad. You got access out, but other people can also drift in. Wanderers that jump trains and all that kind of stuff. So you want to be mindful that just because it's remote, I don't care where you are, someone can pop up. And it's always a shock, because it shocked me and us. And we were, fully capable of defending ourselves. But just the fact that, we saw that straggler was very interesting. One thing, I don't know if my Bluetooth is on. I don't really want it on. I don't know how the audio is going to be. I've been running this Bluetooth speaker, and I think I forgot to turn it off. The phone is much better. Let me see, can I turn this off? Power off. It went off. Hopefully, I don't shoot the audio up. But so that's one thing to be mindful of. I kind of suggest my personal opinion on that is I've been sourcing for some T-posts, and I'm gonna order about. Well, I'm gonna acquire about, I don't know how many T-posts I'll need. I'm figuring about 100 to 200, somewhere in there. And I'm gonna try to fence off a half acre, and that might be the part that I work in and all that stuff. And anything outside of that will just be open, because when you're talking about acreage, it can get really expensive trying to, fence in the acreage, because, you have woods, trees, all kind of clearing you got to do to get down through there to run the fence, and it's just more than I'm willing to tackle, and I can't afford it. It costs a fortune to do that. So, that being said, another thing, not only two-legged stragglers that might pop up from time to time. I've heard stories of people been in rural Arizona, in rural New Mexico, and rural Alaska, and people just pop up out of the blue as wanderers. They might have good intentions, but you never know. You want to err on the side of caution. Also, four-legged friends, coyotes, and wild dogs. So that's a pack of feral dogs I saw out here the week or two ago. About 8 of them. They wander the railroad tracks too. In and out of places, and food. They can smell it a mile away. And if you got campfire going, or you got some kind of grill going, whatever you're doing, that food is going through those woods, and you're attracting every four-legged critter around. So that's another thing you want to be mindful of. four-legged critters, that fence would alleviate, running a fence. I'm gonna run a fence I'm thinking about 7-foot fence. It's 6 foot at minimum for me, because this long drive, or this short road, or whatever you want to call it, I had plans on going all the way to the rear, but it just got too expensive and time consuming and backbreaking, to where I decided to stop where I stopped it for now. But that fence will also alleviate if you got any livestock. You definitely want to have those fenced in. When I say livestock, the goats, whatever kind of four-legged livestock you might want. You want to have them fenced in. They'll be protected, along with you. If you're sitting out at your picnic table and you're relaxing for the evening, and it's getting late, you might have the grill going, got some music playing, you got some cold ones on the table, some tequila, whatever you like, or both. Or if you appreciate, you might be appreciating, or all of the above. You don't really want to see no four-legged unwelcome guests, with those surprises. It's not, it can be paranoid. It can make you paranoid, So it's kind of a safety thing, and being comfortable. You want to make your space comfortable, and like I said, a fence. I'd highly recommend a fence. Along with lighting. In a remote area, you want to light it up at night. Think about light attracts bugs, especially in the deep woods or semi-deep or whatever. You got bugs, mosquitoes that will walk off with you. So you want to have your lighting away from you. So I got plans for some light poles. I don't know how high, but pretty tall. Just like spotlights or street lights, And what I'll do is I'll erect those poles. I started to put them in concrete, but now I think I had an idea about, seen a barrel filled with, I don't know if it was cement or some type of aggregate, and the pole was inside like a drum, like a burn barrel. So they could actually move it around if they needed to, drag it around, which I won't do, but it kind of gave them the ability for it not to be fixed and permanent for whatever reason. But I like that idea because with winter and summer, the sun changes position, stuff like that. Then you can you can work on it. With something permanent, I don't have a skyjacker nothing out here, so with something permanent, I don't know, to get up to it and service it would be very difficult if it's extremely tall. So with it being in a barrel, you could actually, get access to it, tilting it over, getting it down, even if you had to use a vehicle to do so, to kind of help leverage it, or a four-wheeler or tractor, whatever you got down in there. And you can service that light or change it out or whatever would need to be done. Fire safety. Now, I'm just talking about a few different safety aspects. You want to have water, and like I said, I don't recommend trucking water. If you have a well, that's wonderful. But if you don't have a well, there's ways around it. Water catchment systems. Take advantage of the water that falls from the sky. Will be the easiest. Because you want 300 gallons of water on standby at all times. And I recommend a fire extinguisher. You don't want a brush fire to start, because you're going to have fires going. You don't want a brush fire to get going, and those things can get out of control quick. So be mindful of the fire that you create. First aid kits. All that, you got to have a first aid kit, especially working with chainsaws. So mine is not out at the moment, and it should be. Because if you cut yourself, you want to be able to stop the bleeding on yourself, because you might not have help, so you want to be able to treat yourself quickly until you get some help, because you basically just keep the blood inside. You're buying time. You want to buy as much time as possible to to the professionals can help you out. It's unseasonably warm today. I had one incident of safety down here where I had 2 Mid-America gas cans. I only have one now because I was trying to burn some stumps, and one of my gas cans caught fire by accident. And I do not recommend drinking and running with these chainsaws and burning fires. Hold off on the sauce until you're relaxing. I don't recommend it. I've been guilty of it. I don't recommend it. It's something I do not practice. Every now and then you fall short. And it was one of those moments. I was feeling pretty good. It was on standby. Decided to have a shot. It was a Saturday noon, and nothing happened greatly, but you just don't want to be doing that. I don't recommend it, especially when you're alone. It can be life or death out here. You can kill yourself easily. So you don't want to take those, be involving yourself in those high risks, making that activity high risk. It's already risky enough. So a fence, I recommend. Fire extinguisher, water on standby. You also have snakes that will appear from time to time. You don't want to be dealing with those guys. I'm an animal lover, but sometimes you have to dispatch things in the area. I don't know how snakes work, but you could be building your off-grid area, homestead, etc., right over their home, and they might come out right where you were. And I believe that's what happened to me once. I may have cleared right over where he was living. So when he came out, he was befuddled of the difference in the environment. So you want to be mindful of snakes until you get it cleared out really good. Be on the lookout for snakes and poisonous spiders. And skunks. You don't want them dealing with them either. I've seen skunks out here. I think they've gotten away from me now, and I hope so. But like a fence will keep those out. You don't want to go out at night to throw some garbage in the wherever you're throwing your garbage in, your garbage can, and walk and surprise a skunk and get sprayed. I'm just saying, all those things can happen. Never been sprayed by a skunk, but I've gotten too close for comfort to skunks. So those I consider dangers, in my opinion. So, you just want to be mindful of the dangers and the situations you can get yourself in, even in the middle of nowhere. Another thing, depending on where you're located, you want to utilize no trespassing and private property signs just to keep you legal. If you get an unwelcome drifter or just any old weird thing, it'll be that, namely, or people deciding they want to trespass. You want to make sure you got those signs posted so it won't be no issue of people saying, well, I didn't know it was private property. I didn't know it was no trespassing. You want to have your signs legal, clearly posted, visible, and at the appropriate distances, and keep an eye on your property. If you have a large property, you want to listen, smell, observe, and if you got neighbors, communicate with the neighbors. Even if they're a mile away, communicate with the neighbors because they can help you out and you can help them out. You got to kind of look out for one another because you just never know what people will do. You have somebody camping on your property. I don't know. You just never know. Dumping on your property, clearing wood off your property, So you want to have those signs up. Some people don't honor no trespassing private property signs. And, it's just the way the country is set up to where, home ownership, land ownership is a thing that has to be monitored. We have dumpers that come into this area from time to time. Not extremely, I say from what I'm looking at and from what my neighbor tells me, you get a dumper maybe once every 12 months, which is, not extreme. And it's not a whole lot, maybe a few tires or old couch or something. And my neighbor has a a bulldozer. Yeah, I got neighbors with bulldozers, and he has backhoes, and he got all that kind of stuff, and he just takes his bulldozer and pushes. He don't clean it up. He just pushes it down away from view. I think on his own property. I'm not sure. It's not my property, but it's somebody's property because according to USGS and the property surveys, this property starts at the dead end going south. And it continues south that way and down the valley, all the way down the valley. Let me spin around to the valley. I can't turn this thing around. This is stupid. I was able to turn it around. It's weird that I can't spin this around. I was able to spin it around to me, but I can't spin it around. No, and I meant the video like this too, because this is the view. I keep forgetting to hold the camera. Y'all forgive me 1 minute. I'm trying to do something. Okay. I want to hold it like this. This is what I forgot to do. But down the valley, I'm just gonna turn the phone around. Down the valley, the property continues down the valley, way down the valley, from 15 feet from a railroad. So it goes down there. I don't really know what I'm gonna do about this. Probably won't do nothing about this. I'm gonna leave it alone. Whatever ecosystems exist down there, they don't have to worry about me infringing on them. I'm gonna stick up here. I'm gonna stay on high ground because I think that river can get this far in if it's high, but it's low, and that's a hell of a hill to climb. But it's deer that travel down there and all this kind of stuff, and I'm just gonna stay out of their way and bird watch. So, but it goes way down there, and it goes back quite a bit. I haven't even ever been down there, and I don't even plan on going down there. I'm gonna stick to up here. I'm gonna go more that way. Then the last acre, I'm just gonna leave it alone too. Because the more I do, I hope that sun ain't bothering too much. The more I do, the more it digs my pocket. The more you move, the further you push, the more in my pocket. So I had to make a stand, so my pocket can't stand it. But that's what's going on. Ooh, there's some digging on the ground, probably moles. But I'm gonna get back to work. As you can see, I'm doing some more clearing this right here. I'm gonna keep going this way toward the hill. I'm gonna keep going this way. I'm gonna go about over there, just right in front of that deer stand is where I'm gonna stop. And I'm gonna stop at that deer stand and assess the situation, because I want to clear out another large section, and I'm clearing stumps at the same time and dulling my chainsaw blade like crazy. But I'm gonna continue on this way until the area I cleared last spring. I'm gonna continue that way until where it gets thick at, and that's where I'm gonna stop. That's where I stop. That's all I'm gonna do. That's enough for me to manage reasonably, and still have enough room to do whatever I'm doing, But it's enough to manage. I already see little sprouts trying to sprinkle up. I don't want grass. I don't want grass, but depending on the gravel dump this time, I'm not sure, because this time what I'll do is I'll put down the weed barrier over this clearing. I got some industrial weed barrier that is designed for roads construction, and I'll put that down. I'll roll it out, and I'll have the gravel truck come and dump right on top of it. And I'm gonna spread off of that. I have it dumped pretty much right here, and we'll just spread off of that gravel in every direction, all the way up to the hill, all the way back to this fence line that way. And see how far we go. We have 25 tons dumped. It's probably gonna take 50 tons right here. And I would like to get this whole area graveled with moisture barrier, so I don't have to worry about maintenance of any sort of grass cutting and all that stuff. I don't want to deal with that. I just don't have time to deal with that. Now I started to just leave a grass patch back there, but with the sporadic sunlight, I don't think grass will do too well. Maybe weeds. And I don't want to deal with weeds and poison ivy. What's that beat? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm at 20. Just let me know. Okay, I'm gonna get off here, y'all. Y'all be good, and I'll tell you more about some white wash rocks that I got an instrument on and all this kind of stuff that'll go over this clay. And I'll talk more about the clay and in and out of muddy places. All right, peace out, be safe. GBA to everybody, and stay strong.